My first guest is
Hi, this is
actually,
Kenny.
yeah, this I'm joined with Linzy Anna right here, right now. Hello, Linzy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing real good. Thank you so much for kicking off the show with us this evening. Truly
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
And this is actually the third time you are on the show. The last time you was on, I think it was about a year ago. You and Ashley Salazar called together to celebrate the 5 year anniversary, and that was a lot of fun. And the reason that you are on the show this evening is that you have something big coming up. You are going to be competing in a pageant. That being said, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about that? It is the Miss Missouri pageant, to be exact, from November 7th through the 9th. Go ahead and talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that is correct. I'm running in the Miss Missouri USA pageant, which is a prerequisite for the Miss USA pageant. My title is Miss Westport, so I'm really excited to be representing Kansas City and the area I've lived in for the past year. What happens is I'll go down Thursday night and everything kicks off on Friday. I have all my orientation, we have some run throughs, and there's a big opening banquet that some of my best friends are going to come to with me, which will be really fun. The competition starts on Saturday with a gown and swimsuits. And then the next morning, I have an interview with, I believe, five different judges. And then that night, they announce who made the first cut, which cuts down to 15 women and 15 teams in the team division. I'm in the miss division. And then from there, the top 15 recompete in gown and swimsuit. And then they cut it down to the top five, and they do an on-stage interview of three different questions. So I'm really excited. I've been preparing for months now. I signed up in February, so it's been a long time coming.
Wow, that's usually when it comes to pageants. I think, from my understanding, is that they usually are it all happens on like a whole day or a whole night for that matter. But the fact that that's a weekend pageant, if you will. Obviously, they're going, like you said, it's going to narrow down to five women, and then a winner will be crowned, obviously. And how do you feel about your preparation for what is a weekend instead of it being a 1 day pageant event?
Honestly, preparing isn't a lot different for the weekend compared to a one day. It's just knowing you have to keep your energy up for more than 6 hours. You have to keep it up the whole time. So just knowing to pack snacks and be able to pack all of the things you're going to need for the weekend and to not forget anything, which is a big worry for a lot of girls. So just being organized really helps. But preparing for, swimsuit and gown is pretty much the same as it would be for a normal just one day pageant. So just walking in your dress, walking in your swimsuit, making sure you have all your accessories picked out, running through hair and makeup so you don't, hit any snafus on the day of the pageant. So really it's just knowing how to be organized and making sure you've, dotted all your I's and crossed all your T's and everything like that.
So that being said, have you had a chance to talk to people based that has had experience as far as pageant? Have they given you any sort of advice for what you're about to go through?
Yeah. Some of my model friends have done USA pageants before. I actually did do Miss Missouri teen, but it was when I was 15, so it's quite a long time ago. I'm now 23, so it's been a while since I've done a pageant. And most important to know is just to be yourself and to really shine through an interview and stay true to yourself when you choose your outfits and make sure you represent the best you can. So whether that be makeup, hairstyling, your clothing choices, it's all just representing yourself in the best light possible and being clean and polished and really stand out from the crowd.
Now, obviously, judges are going to look for a lot of things in the participants, such as yourself. Now, sometimes they look at people with the upside, the personality, the smile, that have a lot of potential. Do you have any concerns of they may look into something that maybe you do or you say and you feel, and they may count against you, causing you not to be uh, in contention to win this pageant? Anything concerns like maybe an event, the pageants, the swimsuits, like anything you find as a concern?
I think all girls really have nerves about interview just because you never know what's going to be asked. You don't know what topics are going to come up. So I feel like most people get the most nervous about interview and it's always out of your hands. You just kind of have to make sure that you're on top of your game and your mind is clear and you're ready to answer anything because you never know what a judge is going to ask you, and especially if you make it to top 5 and you're on stage in front of everyone and your family and friends are out there and there's judges in front of you and you have to ask, a tough question on stage. So that's always kind of worrisome, but it's just preparing is the secret.
Do you think that maybe it will be fair for the contestants, such as yourself, as maybe they would have give you a heads up on the type of questions they were asked, or do you think they just gonna ask you whatever feel that needs to be asked, and you just had to be prepared for it?
I think definitely the second option, although you do actually get to know one of your questions if you make top 5. The way top 5 works is they ask you what they call an icebreaker question, and all the girls have already been provided the icebreaker. So we've been able to prepare an answer for that if we were to make the top 5. The second question will actually be a question made by one of your fellow pageant girls. It will be a question made by someone who did not make the top 5. And then the last one will be a question from the actual judges themselves, and they'll randomly pick one of the other judges' questions to ask. And so you come in knowing at least one question, but honestly, it's just being able to do your research, and there are a lot of websites and blogs and books out there that will have, 250 pageant questions to prepare with. So you can kind of get an idea what they're going to ask you, but you just never honestly know because they can ask you whatever they want.
I guess as long as, it's nothing risque or nothing over the top, or maybe something political, if you will, then I guess everything is off limits. I guess, and talk about your likes and talk about what would you do in certain situations and things like that. Now, as far as the other contestants is concerned, is there anyone? Are you gonna have any friends that's gonna be competing, or is this everyone that you not know of and you just meeting and seeing for the first time?
Yeah, I actually don't know any of the girls competing personally this year. I did have a model friend who was considering competing, and because of some life events, she wasn't able to compete this year. So I'm going to be meeting all new people from all over the state, and I'm excited because besides the competition part, this really is about meeting some exemplary women from across the state and making friends. And I know a lot of pageant girls have lifelong friends that they've made from pageants. So I'm excited to meet everyone and, hear what their life story is and just have a good weekend, have fun.
Well, I will say this, at least from my understanding, pageants, especially from the females, happens to be the ones that, although it is a competition, the respect is there for the contestants. Like, they want to see you do well. They want to, hope that you do well on your own, if you will, and just, I guess, whatever happens. I don't think there's ever been a lot of drama or a lot of hostility, if you will. Like, if this was a sport, maybe basketball or football, whatever, you wanna win. You really wanna just go at it each other's throats. Do you think that maybe, I don't know, as far as pageant is concerned, is it odd to be maybe a little too friendly with the people that you're going up against in this pageant, perhaps?
You kind of have to hit a balance. I mean, we all want to win. That's why we're in the pageant. So ultimately, at the end of the day, we do want to win and we want to beat the other girls. But at the same time, it's a real fun experience, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for a lot of people. And so you have to make it fun, and you don't want to go through the weekend without making any friends, because that just makes it kind of a tarnished experience. You want to meet people. You want to make friends with people. Of course, you're not going to give them, like, your trade secrets of how you plan on winning the pageant, because that would pretty much sabotage your yourself. But I definitely think you have to strike a balance of being competitive and having a competitive edge, but also being friendly and being open to meeting new people because you could potentially learn something from them too.
That's definitely understandable. As far as the contest is concerned, now for those that are in the Missouri area and for those that would like to attend, why don't you go ahead and give them the info, the address, and days and times on when people can check this out.
Yeah, the pageant, the preliminaries are on Saturday, the 8th of November, so next Saturday, it's coming up quick. And they're going to be held at the Lindenwood campus in the big auditorium there. And the finals will be on Sunday night, and that will include the top 15 and the top 5 and the crowning of the new winner. So that's really exciting. And they're all going to be, like I said, at Lindenwood. It's actually in St. Charles. And you can buy tickets online if you go to MissMissouriUSA.com and you hit the pageant. Then you can have a link you can click on to buy tickets. They also have a hotel available, the Marriott St. Louis Airport. It'll have a special rate for those attending the pageant if they need some place to stay if they're not from in the area. And the show starts at 7 p.m. on Saturday, November 8th, and it starts at 7 p.m. also on Sunday, November 9th. And doors open 30 minutes before the show.
So, how big would this be for you if you were to not only make it far in the competition, but to go on to win? Like, how big would this be for you if you were to be the one that was the name that was called as the winner in Miss Missouri Pageant 2014?
It would definitely be a life changer. If I was crowned Miss Missouri 2015, it would literally open so many doors for me, not only in pageantry, but in my career-wise, whether that is through the beauty industry that I love to work in. I currently work at Ulta, and I do some makeup artistry work, or even through my writing because I'm a freelance writer. It could open so many doors for my career, and also with my modeling, obviously, it's a great opportunity to hopefully get signed with an agency and to have bigger doors open for me and be able to travel all across the state and help with the communities across my state and get to know the people of Missouri, and also being in Miss USA eventually. If I were to be crowned, I would go on to Miss USA next summer, and I can't even imagine being in that. I mean, that's every little girl's dream is, to be Miss USA and to have that feeling and to get to that point in their life. So it's really exciting, and I hope that, next Sunday I can say that that's where I'm heading to.
Well, although I won't be able to attend the festivities, but I will say this on behalf of Chilling with Jeffrey Kenny C and TMV Cafe and of course the Miss Ooh La La family. We definitely will be rooting for you via social media and hope that you go far and go on to win the whole thing. And if you guys and gals are in the Missouri area, go check it out. It is the Miss Missouri pageant, and it will be going on all weekend next week. You can check out Linzy going up against some of the top girls in the entire state. And as Linzy pointed out, the winner not only gets bragging rights, obviously, but get a chance to compete for the bigger prize, and that's Miss USA in the summer of 2015. And you can check her out on Facebook. You can follow her on Twitter. And she also has a website, linzyanna.com. That's LINZYANNA.com for more info and her photos and upcoming events, appearances, if you will. That being said, Linzy, Halloween was just yesterday, and I seen some of your costume photos. You look nice, and Did you trick or treat by any chance?
I did not trick or treat per se, but I did go out. It was a lot of fun. Some of my college friends came to Kansas City, and we just went out on the town and had a blast. I was originally going to go up to Columbia because a lot of them still live in Columbia, but because of my work schedule, I wasn't able to make the drive, so they came to me instead and got a hotel room, and it was really fun, and I had a blast doing the makeup.
Well, uh, glad that you had fun. Me, on the other hand, um, I wasn't quite in the trick or treating spirit.
Aw, bummer.
Yeah, 10 hours of work. I went home. I went to sleep, getting ready for work the next morning, and we didn't have any trick or treaters, so luckily didn't have to buy any candy that ended up being put to waste. Um, so yeah, uh, enough about me. Back to you. And with the year winding down, obviously the pageant is your main focus right now. What are some other plans or any events you have that you got coming up with the year winding down, entering 2015?
Honestly, right now it's just been focusing on my pageant. I haven't really been booking anything because I'm not sure what my outcome's going to be. If I do win this Missouri, then I don't want to have events booked that I'm going to have to cancel on. So I kind of haven't really been booking much for November and into December, although there is an upcoming music video I'm going to be in, which will be exciting. And don't have too much information about it, but be on the lookout. And my actual website is down right now, so don't go to my actual website, but if anyone wants to check out my work, they can go to facebook.com/LinzyAnnaModel. That's LinzyAnnamodel. And I'm also on Instagram and Twitter. And my hashtag or my handle on both of those is just Linzy Anna.
Well, Linzy, it was very awesome chatting with you, and thank you so much for being on. Again, the pageant is next weekend, the 7th through the 9th, and go show your support if you are anywhere near the Missouri area. Show your support. And Linzy, again, thank you so much for joining us. Best of success next week and your other endeavors moving forward. Again, thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you. It's always so much fun.
And you have a great night.
Yeah, and you too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Linzy Anna joining me here to kick off Chilling with Jeff and Kenny C. And